It's live, and it's live from Sacramento in the beautiful downtown studios at Access Sacramento. My name's Ray Tatter, and today we're going to have some wonderful guests. We're going to talk about what makes a community really good and wonderful to live in. And, well, one of the things is good food, and the other thing is good music. And there are some other parts that we're going to talk about, like social conscience and participatory events for you and me. Whew. So stay tuned for LiveWire right after this. I was rudely interrupted by our logo, but we're going to be talking about food with the founder of an organization called GRAS, G-R-A-S. What does that stand for, David?
That's Green Restaurant Alliance Sacramento.
Green Restaurant Alliance of Sacramento. Now I get green. It's a metaphor for goodness and naturalness, right?
Yes. So we help restaurants be sustainable and help them give back to the community by collecting their waste resources and diverting it into this community.
You mean they don't just throw it in a big dirty can at the back of the...
Some of them do, but the ones that work with us, the staff is trained to collect every scrap for us.
This is great. So they now collect scraps and you compost it.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. You know, they have this, and it's also... these are restaurants that also participate in other socially good services like farm to folk.
Farm to fork, yes. So
farm to folk, I like that.
We say that we require farm to fork restaurants. Restaurants that will take a head of lettuce and chop it down, get rid of the bad stuff, give that to us, and then all the prime stuff goes to back to the customers.
The consumer, sure, you know, and that's great, as it should be. And so I find it fascinating that people would step forward and do this. When I was a boy, I think restaurants knew they got to get rid of the stuff, and they put mountains of stuff out on the
just in
the alley,
landfill,
and you know, in landfill, right? Yeah.
Well, it's not a new thing. I mean. Lots of cities around the country and around the world know that they have to start diverting their food waste from the landfill because it creates methane gas, which then goes into the atmosphere.
Sure. Any luminary cities that are doing it?
Well, San Francisco. They're the leaders. New York. We all have to do it. It's a new law in the state here, as well as we're starting to take more, the larger restaurants have to do it immediately, and then the smaller ones will phase in gradually. Okay,
well, this sounds like an important thing. Restaurants not only make good food, they must be seen to be making good food, and also good, clean, healthy air for us.
Yeah, I mean, these are the restaurants that really want to give back to the community. And that's what we do. We take this stuff and we distribute it to gardens, schools, and just private residences who want to build up, healthy landscapes.
So some private residents give you their...
Sure, if they're trying to get rid of their lawn. So we can come in and we would just cover it, basically sow this organic matter from the restaurants right into their landscape.
Wow.
Variously, we can compost it, which is quite a spectacle. Steamy.
Things grow out of it.
Things grow out of it.
Yeah, I know. My wife we compost.
But we've also kind of pioneered a new method with our partners. So certain ones have really, they brought with them, for instance, the IRC, the Refugee Farm,
the National
Rescue Committee. So they have farmers who have farmed all over the world. and they've taught us, hey, this is what we want to do with this stuff. And essentially, it's just bury it into the ground.
Good, because a lot of the land, for in urban areas is stripped, isn't it? The soil is stripped off.
Exactly. I mean, in general, pretty good soil here in our valley, but through some of the spots that we work with are on land that has been prepared for development ahead of time. For instance, the IRC refugee farm.
Wow.
And
so that's good. So David, you've got an event coming up. What is it?
That is, our event is the Food Cycle Celebration, and it is the last day of International Compost Week. So that's May, it's the first full week of each, first full week of May.
First full week
is
of
the
May. So
International
May 12th,
Compost
and
Week.
it's in Midtown.
And our event is on the 12th, which is Saturday the 12th from 10 to 1. And that is a lot of our restaurant partners as well as community partners will be there just to celebrate our food cycle.
Good, good. And are there any participatory things? I mean, like, could I eat something there?
Yes, you could eat something there. There will be food, just little bits, little snacks. And we also have seedlings, some starts. We'll be doing demos as well as have a raffle for some restaurant items that the restaurants will be donating.
Okay. Okay.
Come on down.
And that's at what's the street cross the street?
19th and Q at the Brooks Truett Community Garden.
Good.
That's right next to the dog park.
Okay. Yes, that is so good. So everybody can be included in that because they can come there and find out what you do, which is fascinating. It's just another service for the food industry, which is important. It's part of our way we celebrate our lives is to try a new cultural food or to try a way of eating that is nice and clean and wonderful.
Well, and we are actually working not just with restaurants, but with everybody that eats.
Yeah.
So households, we're working with residences, some offices. So we consider compost something that everybody can do to take action on the environment.
Okay, you mean I can't throw the top of the carrot out of the car?
Throw it our way.
Oh, okay. I said throw it your way. You got some pictures. Let's have a quick look at some photographs that you brought, and
sure.
Maybe you could be the narrator. Here we go. B-roll. We call it B-roll, but it really isn't roll. It's slides. So let's have a look at your slides. Here we go.
Roll them.
This is from the Green Restaurants Alliance.
Planet. Well, now there's a new way to look at climate change and how to deal with it that might just turn that hopelessness into hope. Climate change, as we know, is all about too much carbon in our atmosphere. But carbon is not our enemy. It's the building block of life. Everything alive is made of it, even us. The problem and the solution are simply a matter of balance. Let's step back and look at the 5 pools where carbon is stored on planet Earth. Starting about 500 million years ago, when plants first appeared on land, carbon began to cycle in an amazing balance between these pools, a balance that allowed for life as we know it to evolve. Then one life form, that would be us, figured out how to extract carbon from the fossil pool, which was pretty much a timeout zone for carbon. We've been burning it for energy, putting into play, and disrupting that balance. The way we manage land and do agriculture is moving even more carbon into the atmosphere. Specifically, we've moved 880 billion tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which is heating up the planet and destabilizing our climate. The oceans have absorbed a lot of this excess carbon, throwing off the ocean's balance, resulting in ocean acidification and accelerating a mass extinction of sea life. So in order to save life as we know it, of course we need to stop burning fossil carbon. The big question is, where do we put this excess carbon to get the cycle back in balance? The good news is that the answer is literally right under our feet. It's the soil. Plants, using sunlight and water, naturally perform photosynthesis. They pull carbon in from the air and turn it into carbohydrates, sugars. Then they pump some of these sugars down through the roots to feed microorganisms who use that carbon to build healthy soil. Voila, carbon moved. The plants pump it in, and the soil stores it. Nature's living technology is amazing. Scientists have recently discovered that applying a thin layer of compost can help regenerate healthy soil setting up an ongoing feedback loop that brings more and more carbon into the soil each year. Together with other regenerative practices like not tilling the soil, planting trees and cover crops, and planned grazing, we can build and retain billions of tons of soil carbon. This is carbon farming. This is regenerative agriculture. Unlike more carbon in the atmosphere, more carbon in the ground is good for us. It makes healthy soil, which is nutrient-rich and full of life and holds way more water. This means more nutritious food and crops that are more resilient in the face of drought. That's good news for farmers, families, and everyone who eats. Remember this: the way we grow our food, fiber, and fuel either puts carbon up into our atmosphere or pulls it down into the ground. The regeneration of soil is the task of our generation. Our health, the health of our soils, and the health of our planet are one and the same.
Whoa! That is a really wonderful and educational piece.
There's a lot of new information coming out about regenerative farming, and these regenerative techniques allow us to rethink traditional ways of farming. No inputs. The only input is organic matter. And basically other techniques such as covering the soil and just keeping the biodiversity healthy and alive.
So you, according to what I read, you put 20,000 pounds a year so far.
20,000 pounds a month.
A month?
Is
Back into the soil.
Is what we collect, yes, from our partners.
Is that like a drop in the bucket, or is that a big, it's a half of the bucket?
Yeah, it's we could do more. That is our plea. If the community and more restaurants could help us, we could collect more and spread more into
But you need
Sacramento
support.
soils.
And so that this event that's coming up is kind of important.
Yes, we're looking for volunteers to help work at school gardens or work at community gardens.
Let's see, we got some slides. Let's look at these slides and we'll find out what this means. www.GRAS, G-R-A-S, one S, Sacramento, or Sacramento.
Yeah, GRASacramento.org.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, yeah. Okay, here we go. These are slides from what event?
These are just us out there. So this is here at the refugee farm in West Sacramento.
Okay.
And one of the techniques that we do, which is we learned from one of the farmers, and he just wanted us to just spread it out. He had dug a little trench and wanted us to just spread it out with organic matter.
Okay, and these, what you have is organic matter from restaurants.
Yes.
Right there. That's what we were looking at.
Exactly, all the color. That's carrots, lettuce. And so here you can see, here we were directed, they wanted to build an herb garden right in that location.
I see.
So they marked off where the edges were going to be, and we filled it up.
This is great. And the refugees, there's some of it there right there.
Yep, that's what we collect.
Well, geez, that's really
It's a colorful lot.
So you need more restaurants to help with you, and then more support for you to be able to do that, because you have to have trucks.
Everybody could be composting. Right now, Sacramento doesn't have a municipal collection like San Francisco. Right. So it's up to the community to take action.
I see, okay. But so somewhere down the line, we're going to have a municipal.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
And we'll be ahead of it.
Oh, yeah.
All of us.
All right, that's good. And we'll be all participatory by law.
Yes.
I love it. Okay. Listen, I want to thank you, David Baker, for coming to talk to me about this. It's very important. And as things happen, please come back.
I certainly will.
All right, I wish you well. Okay, whoa, we got to take a pause for the cause, but we're going to go from Green Restaurants Alliance of Sacramento to the Sacramento Concert Band, and we're going to learn about a good thing you can do on Mother's Day, and it's going to be musical. So right after these important messages, we'll get back to you.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
And then from this angle, it all makes a star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore.
Show up
And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy, and giving up impossible.
And then we're going to turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
What's your reaction gonna be? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
This is their world. There's nothing.
And then they die. Go ahead, go, go, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
We're back. We are back. My name's Ray Tatter, and we have Grant Parker here, who is a longtime music educator in our town and also runs a band.
Yes, indeed. I'm a conductor of the Sacramento Concert Band, which is a community group that rehearses weekly at Rio Americana High School. It's been in existence, I think we're in our 48th year, and I've been its conductor since 1990.
Whoa.
And we're working towards a concert on Mother's Day.
A concert on Mother's Day. That's why you're here too. I really want to talk about how, I love the idea of you being an educator in music, so you have musicians coming up, but then also there's us old guys who can still play and want to play, and those are the people who have been in your band.
Well, certainly, we're part of the adult education program of the San Juan District, and so our goal is music for life. If you played in school and you enjoy playing, we're one of the places where you can go throughout your entire life. I have musicians in the group who are new parents, and I have a musician who performed at the Nuremberg trials in World War II and is 91.
Wow!
So we've run the full gamut of musicians.
Wow, that's amazing. We ought to get that guy on tape. That's fantastic.
Well,
I'm sure they have talked to him about it. But
certainly.
I'm sure that's a historical thing. So I'm very interested in what you have an event coming up. What is it? It's on Mother's Day, right?
Right. Our spring concert this year, and this is, I think, our 48th spring concert. We've been providing free music for 48 years, is going to be on Mother's Day, which is May 14th at 2:30 in the afternoon. And it's a free concert, so you can bring your wife or your mother to the concert.
That's right, and with the savings that you make, since it's a free concert, you can buy her a corsage.
Or take her out to dinner afterwards.
Or take her out to dinner.
So
there it is, right on the screen, folks. Look, Rio Americana High School, Center for the Arts on American River Drive. And you can just get there by going to the website of the sacramentoconcertband.net.
That's correct, and easy to get to. Rio Americana is located on American River Drive, so it's near the intersection of Watt and Fair Oaks, and if you just head up American River Drive, you'll hit the school. It's a brand new performance facility that just opened this year. It's got wonderful acoustics, wonderful sight lines. The audience sits above the band and sees us perform.
Fascinating and wonderful. So you have young people there too, some really kind of interesting award-winning young people.
Well, this year we are, for this concert, featuring, since it was a Mother's Day concert, we thought we'd feature youth, the result of mothers.
Oh, yes.
And we have 3 different guest groups coming in. The most prominent is probably we are hosting a group called the Sacramento Valley Symphonic Band Association. They sponsor a Youth Artist Award each year of $500 to a high school musician that has auditioned and competed and shown extraordinary talent. This year we're going to have Alexandra Buckman. She's a bassoonist from Placer High School in Auburn, and she has won that award and will receive $500, and as part of that she will perform with us, and so she's going to perform a concert piece for bassoon and wind ensemble as part of our concert. So that's one of our youth. Second one has a really unique story. He's actually a Sacramento Saturday Club winner. He won an award last year from them for his fine talent. He's a member of the music department, a student at the music department at Cosumnes River College, and has an interesting connection to the band that we didn't even think of. He did an exceptional job this year, and I invited him in to perform. 2 years ago, we had a member pass away, and the family donated his instruments to me. I donated them to the college. As is typical, this young man didn't have a quality instrument, and we checked out an alto saxophone to him. And it was till we were at the first rehearsal where he practiced with us, I realized that he was rehearsing on the horn that had been donated by the deceased band member. And so there's a real good connection with the band and this fine young man. His name is Miles Taylor. He's a phenomenal alto saxophonist. He's at Cosumnes River College this year. He's going to be a music major and with a jazz emphasis at Sac State next year. And he'll be performing a piece for alto saxophone and band that's kind of jazzy and has all sorts of interesting rhythms to it.
So Grant, I looked at the choice of some of the musical pieces that you're going to play on Mother's Day, and they're really wide and diverse.
Well, I've always felt that, and I've had people from the audience come up after concerts and tell me that they enjoy this as well. If we provide contrasting music of different styles, that keeps the concert interesting. So we've got these two soloists, we've got slow, beautiful pieces transcribed from choir, we've got an opera aria that's been transcribed for band, we've got pieces written specifically for concert band, we've got popular music, including music of John Williams and Star Wars and E.T. We even have a piece of program music that describes the destruction of the earth and then the rebirth of the earth with a lone tree, kind of fits into our last segment.
Yeah.
And the world is back with no evil in it. And so all sorts of different things to keep it interesting.
Well, let's have a look at some slides you brought. Let's
Sure.
have a look at those, and you can be the narrator. And maybe it'll happen.
There we go. Well, this is a concert a couple years ago, so you can see the ensemble. We've actually grown a little bit since then, and this is in our old performance venue. But you'll get that sort of view in the new venue as well, as looking down at the ensemble. And as you can see, we have people of all sorts of different ages and backgrounds in the group who've played for, some of them for a few years with us. 2 members were at the first rehearsal in the fall of 1969. This is just during a rehearsal, and you can see the group rehearsing, and I'm probably talking too much up there and conducting and rehearsing them. You're looking down the saxophone row, so alto saxophones in front, tenor saxophones in the middle, and if in the back you can see trumpets. And to the left are our flute players, and to the right are the brass players.
Great.
And our timpanist, Paula Newcomb, who followed her husband, the tuba player, and she was kind of a band groupie that stayed long and finally said, I want to learn how to do this. And she started as an adult and has been with us for probably 25 years now.
Wow, good for her.
And now you're looking at our French horn section to the left and our bassoon section on the right front. So we have a wide diverse instruments and the trumpets on the left. In fact, the trumpet player there happens to be my father, who's the 91-year-old I was talking about.
Okay.
And here's the flute section. So you're again looking down the other side of the ensemble and piccolo in front. You don't want to be right next to that. A very powerful small instrument. And our flutes in back. And here's the poster for this year's concert again. It's Sunday, May 13th at 2:30 at the Rio Americana High School, this wonderful new hall with great sight lines and wonderful acoustics. And I should add with that, we're also, as part of the Mother's Day concert, we have 11 or 12 members of the Mission Avenue School Band who are going to actually stand between us, and we're going to play 3 pieces of their music with them, so that'll be a great experience for them. And then they're going to stand and watch us play one of our pieces of music so they can hear what it's like to stand in an ensemble that has some proficiency.
That's really good. That's really good. You know, I mean, young musicians need that kind of introduction to the band.
Well, we're trying to send the message to them again that they're starting now. You don't have to put away your instrument just because you graduate. You can play for life. In fact, we invite all sorts of members. The average community member that comes into our group has taken 20 years off their instrument. So we're always looking for new musicians.
Yes. Oh, okay. And also, you know, we did talk about the tone of the music that you're playing, but name some of those pieces they're kind of wonderful.
Sure. An example of a fast piece is a Jubilant Overture. Alfred Reed is a composer specifically for concert band. We have The Fate of the Gods was the piece I talked about that is kind of programmatic in nature. We have this, I haven't mentioned this one yet, a piece called Salute to American Jazz. It's by famous Count Basie composer Sam Minestico, and it's arrangements for concert band of some jazz classic, A Night in Tunisia from the bebop area, St. Louis Blues from traditional jazz.
Oh, yeah, that's a wonderful piece.
It Don't Mean It Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing from Duke Ellington and the Swing Era of the 30s, and Birdland from fusion jazz of the 1970s.
Birdland, all right. Well, that sounds like a wonderful concert, and I really want to thank you so much for coming in to talk to me. But I want to know something. You know, when I have people in here, I say, you know, you were walking down the street one day, and you thought, gosh, you know, I think I'll take up music as my passion and my glory. Just like that lady. I wonder what was that moment she said, I want to learn how to play the timpanis.
Well, in her particular case, her husband is a very fine tuba player who was a retired Sac State professor, and so she'd been coming to all of our concerts, and we had a shortage of percussionists, and so she just approached, said, I think I could do this, and give it a couple years, she does a pretty good job.
She does a good job, okay. And the young students that are coming up, how do you feel about them?
Well, I think they've both got a lot of promise. The Sacramento Valley Symphonic Band Association, which sponsors 15 of the bands, or actually 11 of the bands in the area, the previous winners of this award have gone on to major universities. In fact, one of the winners is now the co-principal trumpet of the New York Philharmonic.
Whoa!
So these students really take this money, use it towards an instrument or towards lessons, and enables them to go on. As for my student from Casumnas River College, he's already shown talent. He just needs a little help to get there and get his training. He'll be up at Sac State next year, and he'll be well on his way.
Grant Parker, thank you so much for coming to talk to me about this, and I wish you well with your band and all of the things that you do. We need people like you in the community.
Well, thank you so much, and I hope lots of people are in the audience on May 13th
I
at
hope
2:30.
so too. All right, that's all the time we have today. It was really nice to talk to Grant Parker and also to talk to David Baker about the GRAS thing. So we have another show for you next Wednesday at 5, live at 5. See you now. Bye-bye.
Thank you.